Hello, and welcome to another episode of Music Talk Thursday. I am BioMuse. Hope that you guys have been having a great week. Um, Thanks for joining me. And so, want to thank you guys for the few of you that came and hung out on Monday, even though I couldn't actually be here. Really appreciate it. As I mentioned, I had an audition on Monday, so I had to not be here during the allotted time frame. So I'll update you guys on that in a moment. Also, I have a new goal to really try to hit that, that 1,000 subscriber thing, because for those of you who had a chance to listen to the Monday show, the sound quality on that I think was way better than any of the stuff I've had. And there are a couple of variables. One could be that, the speaker and video on the phone were just higher quality than my fancy computer, which I find a little bit hard to believe, but possible. Or just the, software on the phone is better for this, or the sound coming from my phone is not so good coming through my computer. But I was unable to super quickly find out how to record pre-record and publish on the computer, but I knew I could do it from the phone, so I just went ahead and did that. And I think it worked out pretty well. Let me know what you guys think. And, only way we'll be able to test the theory for sure is to find out, if maybe it was just a matter if it was a pre-recorded thing versus a live thing. Maybe it's just better quality because of that. But the only way to find out is if I get up to 1,000 subscribers. So I think I'm up to 6 right now, so that puts us at, let's do some math real quick, 994 more? I think we can do it sometime between now and later. Anyway, so again, let me know what you guys think, or those of you who have channels, let me know, if you've been able to broadcast live from your phone. Did you notice any quality differences from that versus your computer versus your handheld cameras versus other? Yes, I'm going to say today because I realized on that Monday video when I didn't have you guys here with me, I said a whole lot and it bothered me. So I'm going to try to avoid that today. I think I've been doing pretty good up until Monday, so apologies for the umming. Had one of my biology teachers drill into me the no umming rule for one of our presentations that we did. He said, if you have more than 5 ums in your presentation, you're getting a fail. And so that kind of scared me. So I try to not quite so much these days. And I think I've gotten a lot better at it than I used to be. But I don't know. You be the judge. Let me know. So auditions. As I mentioned previously, I was auditioning for a position, singing, of course. And I had 2 auditions, two and a half. I had the initial audition came out as like, hey, go ahead and just pick 3 songs and off of our list. And there goes an again, sorry. Here's an for my umming. My cat is distracting today. So they asked me to pick 3 songs off of their list of, I think, about 70 songs they have. And it is a band that does only covers. And a lot of great songs. As I've mentioned before, I do this every time. As I've mentioned before, they have Beatles songs. I've mentioned before they have Beatles songs. I mentioned before I love Beatles songs. And they happen to have 2 Beatles songs on their list, which were Come Together was one and 8 Days a Week. Both I like, except the Come Together version. I do the Aerosmith style, which for any of you who are Beatles fans or Bee Gees fans, or just really like movies or musicals, there was a movie that was done years ago that was performed by the Bee Gees, all Beatles songs, the entire movie, and it was called Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Really awesome. A lot of the Beatles songs that I know from before that, but also watching that movie introduced me to some from the different decades of the Beatles hits. So Come Together was one of the ones that were on that, and I think only in the last year have I actually heard the Beatles version of that, which is still good, of course, but the Aerosmith version was more spunky, I think spunky is a good word for that. And so the first audition, initially they're like, hey, 3 songs. Sure, no problem. So I come in with my 3 songs ready to go. Oh, hey, why don't you pick another one off the list? Oh, hey, why don't you pick another one off the list? So we were having a lot of fun with it. It was a lot of fun. I miss just jamming in the band room from my band days not too long ago. It's just really a lot of fun being able to just be in a room of people who love music, making music. It's just an amazing feeling. For those of you who have not had the opportunity to experience it, I highly recommend it if you're able to. And so that was the first audition. They said that they had somebody else coming out, and they wanted me to have come back for a second audition after that person had come out. So in that time frame, they said, hey, we've actually got a show coming up. How would you like to perform a song with us on stage so we can, you know, kind of check out how you do there? So I said, sure, why not? And they asked me to do Go Your Own Way by Fleetwood Mac, which is fine, great, really like the song. However, that being said, the week before when I had the initial audition, that was one of the songs that they had me do. Like, hey, do you know this one? Hey, do you know this one? So that one came up, and I said, yeah, you know, I know the song, but I don't really know the words, but I know the chorus. So we start singing. I start singing as they're playing when we get to the chorus, and it's like, you can go your own way, go your own way. And then the next lyrics come saying, you can call it another lonely day. And I'm looking at that, and the timing is, I don't know the timing of that, so I'm just gonna shh. So we get to the end of the first round of that song, and I just keep skipping that part, and they're looking at me like, okay, this is how it goes. And I said, I need to hear this because the timing on this seems extremely off to me. So, and of course, I say, so, well, I thought I knew the chorus, but apparently I only know 75% of the chorus-ish. So I listened to it 3 times really fast, just the chorus, so I get the timing down. So then I was able to do that and just had, again, still doing the chorus. So they asked me to do a song that I didn't know, which I think is a great idea because then, you know, this gives me, what was it, 4 days, because this was on a Monday, and then they wanted me to perform on Friday with them. And of course they said, let us know what you think about doing that song. So I could have said, oh, you know, maybe I'd really rather do this other song, but they wanted to do it, so I just made sure that I could run through it all the way that I could hit all the notes, because it's a bit lower. And as I've mentioned previously, I sing a lot better way up here than way down here. I can do it, but it's kind of like, whoa, it doesn't sound as good. I don't have the power behind it like I do on some of those higher notes. So I got it, I had it down, and I got up there on stage, and we had a blast. It was a lot of fun. Got some compliments from the crowd and from the band, so that was a lot of fun. And then so I still had the audition for this past Monday, and that also went really well. I had a lot of fun. I knew that song, so I was able to do that one all the way through, but I had an idea, and actually one of the guitar players said, hey, why don't you try doing the verses like an octave higher? So I said, sure. And so I did that, and it sounded pretty good, but I think I could have done it a little bit better if I would have actually practiced it, because I had thought about it previously, but it sounds really weird when you're used to hearing a song a certain way. Again, we've had this discussion also, right, about the concert goers. So yeah, I like to sing it the same way. So this one is weird because there's not a lot of songs where the verses are higher and then the chorus goes lower. So doing it this way would basically effectually change the song in that manner. So it's like, sure, why not? So I do that, and then I feel really quiet when I'm going, you can go your own way, like really low, and it was just really funny. But it wasn't bad. And then we did a number of songs there, and they also, again, had me harmonize on a few things just to see how that would go, because most of what I would be doing would be harmonizing, because most of their songs are really low. And again, they have a set of 70, so it's not like I'm going to come in here and say, hey, well, you know what, I like you guys and you're awesome, but you need to do songs I can do. That's not really fair. They've been established for 5 years now, I believe. And Really great, a lot of fun to watch. Great songs. You've got, like I said, Beatles, also some Eagles songs, Fleetwood Mac, um, Toad the Wet Sprocket, Blink 182. There was another one in there. I was going to say Gin Blossoms, which I'll probably do one of their songs soon. We're talking about one of those songs that take you back to a certain point in time days. Things like that. So again, really great songs that I know, but not ones that you're going to hear me sing because I prefer to sing ones that have female vocals because, well, I'm a female, so it tends to sound better. Until I start doing that thing where I change the way the song sounds, then that's completely off the table, different thing. But for now, yeah. So they said, hey, awesome, we love your voice, we love, you're super talented and you're great, but just don't think it's a good fit, which is, honestly what I was thinking. And so I'm like, my opinion isn't the final opinion. Maybe they think it's a good fit and they, there's something that they want to do with that. So sure, don't decide. But it was a no-go. But again, another day, more music. And it was so much fun and I really enjoyed it. So if you guys are watching, thanks. I really appreciate it. I had a blast with you guys. And then this past Friday also, I went to a dinner. And you guys know how it is. You're younger, maybe go to a dinner at your parents' friends and you think, oh, it's going to be a dinner, just like, oh, it'll probably be nice, not too bad, quiet, some food, maybe I can eat it, maybe I can't. A little bit of a picky eater, unfortunately for me. Anyway, here I did it again. So went over to parents' friend's house and they have a daughter that's a little bit younger than me, and walk in, it's like, hey, she got a drum set. Hey, she got a bass. She got instruments in there, and then she had a Children of Bodom poster, which is her favorite band. And I was just like, hey, that's really awesome. You're a female and you like metal. I'm a female. I like metal. It's really hard to find a lot of, there's some females out there that say they like metal, but, they just try to say it because, I don't know, they want to impress their dudes or whatever it is. But anyway, so she plays music and they're working on potentially, it sounds like, putting a band together. So she said, yeah, I play and I've got these two guys coming out. So I was like, hey, do you guys have a singer yet? And she said, you sing? And I said, I do. So we exchanged numbers and we were chatting a bit yesterday. So I don't know, maybe something will come of it. Usually more with metal, they want the more harsh, growly vocals, and I can't do that. I do love listening to it, like that really heavy, like deep growly metal, but I just can't. I can't do it. Also, without proper training, it's really easy to blow out your vocal cords, and I'm not ready for that yet, because I think last time we had this discussion about me wanting to make sure that I preserve as much as I can, because the longer, the better I preserve it, the longer I can sing, and singing makes me happy. So another funny thing, so when I went into this performance on Friday last week, I was walking in with my tea mug because when I perform, usually when I'm singing for long periods of time, I always have my chamomile tea with loads of honey, just to help, keep that warm and all that good stuff. And so, singing for 3 hours can be kind of straining if you're not appropriately hydrating and being warm liquids, ice water, not such a great idea. But I remembered, as soon as I walked through the door, I was like, I totally remember this time where I was performing with Lab 154 back in Virginia, and we had a live performance, and I walked into this bar with my mug, and the guy at the door is like, hey, you can't, what is that? Basically saying like I couldn't bring that in there. And so, hi Mom. My mom's in here, she's watching. My parents just landed in Israel, so sorry, no magic tricks tonight. So anyway, I'm walking in, this guy says, hey, you can't bring that in here. I said, it's just my tea, I'm performing tonight, I'm so sorry, do you want to smell it? I was like, I don't know how to react because I don't really go to bars so much. I mean, I like dancing. Not big on the drinking, but everybody loves it because I'm just automatically designated driver, which is totally fine with me. The more drunk they get, the happier I get because they're all bouncy and bubbly. And so anyway, walking into this place, it wasn't even a thought process like, oh, maybe I shouldn't bring a cup in here that could have alcohol when going to a bar, because to me it's just my tea that I need for performing. So it was kind of funny, and you know, whatever, life lessons. So I walked into this place and I was like, oh, let me look around for the bouncer. Let me hold my tea mug close to me so they don't bother me. But this place, they let you bring in your own food and everything because they don't serve food there, so it wasn't a big deal. Nobody questioned me as to my beverage in my mug, and it was funny. Anyway, you know, little things in life. So I wanted to also say I have a lot of friends right now that are going through some really, really, really tough times. So I'm sorry. If you guys need me, you know that I am always here for you. And wanted to do a song that doesn't necessarily pertain to your particular issues, but it's one of those, like, hey, you know, things are bad, but they could get worse, and try to look on the bright side, because as bad as things are, they can pretty much always get worse. My words to live by. So I'm gonna do one song for you guys tonight. It's gonna be Hands by Jewel, in the style of if I could tell the world just one thing, it would be that we're all okay. And not to worry, cause worry is wasteful and useless in times like these. I won't be made useless, I won't be idle with despair. I'll gather myself around my faith, fight the darkness most fear. My hands are small, I know, not yours, they are my own. Not yours, they are my own, and I'm never broken. Poverty stole your golden shoes, didn't steal your laughter. Heartache came to visit, I knew it was never after. We'll fight, not out of spite, someone must stand up for what's right. 'Cause where there's a man who has no voice, there I shall go free. My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours, they are my own. Not yours, they are my own, and I never go. In the end, only kindness matters. In the end, only kindness matters. I will get down on my knees and I will pray. I will get down on my knees, I will pray. I will get down on my knees, I will pray. My hands are small, I know, not yours, they are my own. Not yours, they are my own, and I'm never broken. My hands are small, I know, not yours, they are my own. Not yours, they are my own, and I'm never broken. We are never broken. So there was that one. Alright, again, sorry that you guys are going through all that bad stuff, but again, I'm here for you if you need me. And remember, music doesn't cure everything, but it helps ease the pain a bit most times if you pick the right songs. However, if you're in a great mood and you hear a sad song, then that just totally flips it around sometimes. So pick the right music, listen to for the right mood. Anyways, another thing that I wanted to mention is I need to say it to you guys, because if I don't tell you, then I'm not going to do it. So I started running a while back. I haven't done it for a while. And I started and I was like, this is boring. And then I was like, I really need to do the running thing because my stamina is awful for one. But more importantly, to sing well, you need to have the right muscles. And, breathing's kind of important. And running is one of those more cardio things that makes you work your breathing muscles and such, diaphragm and all that. So I decided, and I was going to start yesterday, but I figure I'd start today. After I tell you guys, I'm going to start running again. Nothing crazy, not going to do any marathons or anything, but a mile at least a few times a week, maybe daily, something like that. Because, well, I've been weak in my legs and I need to work on that. So you guys going to keep me honest with that? Be like, hey, did you go running today? Did you go running yesterday? And my answer better be yes, because I need to do that. I won't lie to you guys about that. If anything, I'd be like, I didn't and I'm awful and I really should have done that, but I'll do it tomorrow after the show. Anyways, so yeah, exercising is important for things other than, dieting with weight loss or dieting for medical reasons or dieting or exercising because everyone else is doing it. It's trendy. Why not? So me, exercise for music, because that's probably about the only thing that's going to motivate me to exercise is for the improvement of my musical abilities. So that'll be it. And auditions. I had somebody chatting with me today. It's like, hey, so audition stuff, what do you think? Were you prepared? Were you all, for the auditions that I had with the cover band that I mentioned previously? I said, I really didn't know what to expect. It was a really busy time when I went in, but when you're auditioning, you should always be prepared. Don't do as I say, not as I do, right? So it was the first time that I'd actually ever really auditioned, because when I got my gig with the other band, they happened to hear me sing, so it's kind of an impromptu audition. I didn't really know what was happening, but we were outside by a bonfire, and they were doing music, and so I just started singing. But for this, they're like, hey, have these things prepared, and I did. That being said, I had some stuff prepared, but again, as I mentioned, their stuff was kind of low. So first of all, if you're going for an audition, words of wisdom from someone who doesn't have much experience, feel free to comment down below and let me know what you think. Please feel free to add audition tips, because I know there's going to be some people out there watching that will be going for auditions for not just musical things, but, acting things or jobs are technically auditions. You're going for your interviews. That's an audition. So be prepared. Know your weaknesses. Be honest with yourself, because if you're not, unless you have a really good friend that's like, hey, dude, that sounds awful. If you don't have a friend like that, you need to record yourself and listen to yourself and really, really break it down and say like, hey, I'm really great, or I'm really not great. Maybe I should steer myself in a different direction, or maybe I can work on this particular thing. So an idea that would have been good for me was not only to go in and have those songs prepared and completely down and memorized. That would have been great. But what would have been better, even more so, would have been to come in there with a song that I could just nail every time and just show off my range, my abilities, things like that. So I was able to do that a little bit with some things when I was harmonizing, because again, the songs were low, so I was harmonizing like way up there. So I could sit and do that all day long without straining my voice, because doing these like really low ones is, it takes a toll. So it's not bad. I enjoy it because it's still singing, but to work on singing in a way that doesn't stress my voice would be ideal. But about it for my advice on that for right now. But if you have any questions, let me know, and I will gladly theorize and philosophize with you on any of those music-related things or science-related things if you guys are bored and feel more like sciencey talk on one of these days. And then quick mention for a couple of shows that are going on. So number one I want to mention, it's really funny that I did a Fleetwood Mac song last week because they are performing with people, groups like Earth, Wind, and Fire and Journey at Dodger Stadium on Sunday. And then also Natalie Merchant's going to be performing at the Greek on Sunday. And then we have Saturday, because we're going backwards this week. Let me look at my list over here. The Eagles and a bunch of other bands are playing at Dodger Stadium also on Saturday. So Dodger Stadium is a place to be this weekend for music. I forget to check if there's any games, but it's been a while since I've been back over there. So maybe I'll check it out one of these days. Not this weekend though. This weekend is my chill weekend. Finish cleaning the house, fun adult stuff. And then tomorrow, Tim McGraw and Faith Hill for the country people are going to be performing at Staples Center. And again, at the Greek, there's like a 90s thing. There's a bunch of bands that were really big in the 90s, including TLC, Kid and Play, there's like 5 or 6 bands playing. So if you guys get a chance to hit up any of those, let me know how they were. Or if you've got other groups that are playing, especially, local. I really like to try to promote the local bands because, hopefully I'll be in one of those soon and starting those. And it's always good. Got to be really, be very supportive of your group. Speaking of which, I wanted to thank Cecily because I know that she's probably on there hiding somewhere, but she had another Street Jelly show earlier today, and she's like, gave me a shout out over there, so I wanted to say thank you. And she does shows on Facebook Live, Street Jelly, and all these other online singing venues. So hope that you guys get a chance to maybe catch one of her shows one of these days. And other than that, I think that's all the topics for today, unless you guys have any questions. So again, I will be back here live Monday night with some music for you, and that's going to be 7:30 p.m. Pacific, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. I totally sound like a broken record there. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I've decided I need to point to both sides here because on the computer, it's going to be down here, and on the iPad, apparently it's down here. So click that red subscribe button down there. Of course, when I'm doing this again, I'm pointing, so I have to look where I'm pointing down this screen, right? Focus right there. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button down there. Hope that you enjoyed the show. If you have any recommendations for songs that you'd like to hear covered, that'd be great. Also, as soon as I have some originals down, I will be peppering them into the show here. And I've got a number of songs written. I just need to put some music to it, so I need to start working on my keyboard skills as well. And I had another song after all my friends were having so many issues this week. I started writing a song about that. And though some of them are more talkative than others, it's basically one of those, the quiet ones are the ones you gotta watch out for. Not so much because they're dangerous or crazy. Of course, some of us quiet people are kind of crazy and stuff. Crazy in a good way, right? Anyways, a lot of times the people that are complaining all the time, they feel better because they're getting everything off their chest, but those people that are quiet, they're just holding everything inside until one day they just explode. So something along those lines. I've got a good chunk of it written. Again, lyrics part. And as soon as that is done, I'll get that to you guys as well. So have a great evening. Have a fantastic weekend. Go catch a couple of shows and let me know how they went. All right. Have a great night, and I will see you guys Monday. Bye.